there. I was so in over my head and so afraid. And when I saw all those people, because before, you know, yeah, I got this, I got this. And then when you walk in, it's like a record scratches and you go, oh boy, okay. You know everyone's name in this room. Nobody knows your name. You need to go home. It's enough. I need to just leave. So I was very comfortable with leaving. I would not have stayed. So anyway, she would leave.
Wow.
We sit down, we do these auditions, and they switch people in and out all day. And that first group that sat down, the first group of those 750 people that day, because they had, I think they had 3 or 4 days of auditions, but 750 people that day, that first group was the group that made it on the show. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
The original group that you saw.
Who else did you see? Like, did you only speak with them and audition with them, or were these other famous people, like, were you intertwined with them?
Intertwined with all of them. There was Emmy, who was the plus size model, like the first plus size model. She was a big deal. Veronica Webb was there. Mother Love was there. Joan Rivers was there. Tyra, I think, was there. A lot of news people, lots and lots of news people. Like I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but tons of news people that were real like staples on ABC and on CBS, NBC.
Did you test with Tyra?
No, I tested with Emmy and I tested with Veronica. So I was obviously in that was the group that we were. So Tyra was my competition, I guess. Emmy, Veronica, all of those kind of girls that were kind of in the same age group, like give or take a few years. So
Just curious if you were tested with Tyra.
I didn't. No.
So you got the job.
Yeah. I can't believe it. Are you sure? I thought I was being punked. Barbara left me a message on my answering machine. It was that long ago. It's when you had little tapes. And I thought I was being punked by my friends at MTV. And I had to listen to it over and over and over. And I said, are you sure that's her?
And then did you, because you say MTV, listen, they gave us Jersey Shore later on in the Hills. And I mean, like, you are preaching to the choir over here, but like, did you say, oh, goodbye? Or did you really go through that? Like, well, I mean, I could go do this news program with Barbara Walters, but hey, this is MTV. Like, did you almost not take it? Did you grapple with that? Or were you like, no, this will change my life, so to speak?
I don't think I realized what a big deal it was. You know, I don't think I realized that it was going to be life-changing until it had become life-changing. I was too young, you know, like when you're 21 years old, and maybe now people are more savvy to it, because remember, this was before Instagram. This was before TikTok, Twitter. We had no Facebook. There was no social. There were no socials. So like, if you were kind of living in your little world, you were living in your little world. Now everyone has 15 minutes of fame. Everyone is Insta famous immediately. And they see, oh gosh, what a big deal this thing is. And I just blew up everywhere and I broke the internet. Back then, I was more worried about what was happening at the time. I was so into the MTV thing. I mean, I loved it. It was so fun to work there. It was really such a great experience. And you learned trial by fire. It was a place where they'd say, okay, here's our budget. Here, go make a show. And if it works, it works. If not, okay, we move on to the next one. Whereas a network is so not like that. A network has to think about it, do a pilot, do a test. I don't know, maybe. I mean, at MTV, it was whatever goes. So I knew it was an incredible experience. And my parents were beside themselves. They said, what in the world? We didn't want her to go to MTV and look, and now she's gonna be sitting next to Barbara Walters. I think at that point in time in my life, it was more impressive to my parents and to my parents' friends and to people who actually understood what a big deal this was and what a big deal she was and is. And that's why, to me, I was like, so what? Like, had you said to me, oh, you're doing a show with Madonna, I would have passed out, fallen down, and died. Where Barbara Walters is and was the Madonna of the journalism world. Like, she started it all. If it wasn't for her, no women would have the opportunities we have had today. She broke the glass ceiling. She was the first one on the first woman on the nighttime news. She was the first woman to have to be an anchor with a man and not do fluff pieces. She was a trailblazer. Yeah, she really did change the face of television for women.
Yes and yes. No, I wish you used a different example besides Madonna, because that is my gold standard. I need, like, I am a self-respecting gay man over here. So now I'm like picturing, like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. But yes, Barbara is a huge
Yeah, like a huge deal. So at that time, I was like, yeah, this is great. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is a huge deal. And this is a huge responsibility. And my antics at MTV are not going to work over here at ABC. And you better pull it together, little girl, because now you're in the big leagues and you're not like, playing at Romper Room, wearing half baby shirts to work.
right. And like you're in the room and you don't realize it. But then, like, when I was preparing to sit down with you, I was like, wait, you were 22? Because I would have said you were like, 28. Like, it just, you
I was
hear the 22 and you're like,
22 when we went on the air. It was insane. We did run throughs for months, and I thought, oh, okay, this will prepare me for going on live television. No, it will not. I mean, you can run through for the rest of your life until you're blue in the face. But when you were sitting there live, and there are 250 people in the audience, and that little light comes on above the camera, and you know what that means now. Now you're fully aware of what this means because everyone has told you what a big deal it is. You're like, hi. I mean, it's really, really frightening. Or at least it was for me, but I learned very quick because you don't have a choice. You learn very quickly.
was there any time when you were there, in the room doing the job, Star Jones and you and Meredith Vieira and Joy, like, did you ever grow into it and say, like, you know what? Okay, we're on our, 100th show or whatever number you got to, or were you just like, oh man, what's going on here?
Well, I got more comfortable. I will tell you that. I got a lot more comfortable because just like anything, the more you do it, the more it becomes habit, and the better you get at it. I mean, anything, and the more comfortable you become. Like, what's that book? Is it called The Tipping Point? What's that book? Where if you do
Yeah,
something for
something.
10,000 hours, you are legit the definition of an expert. Um, so yeah, I became far more comfortable with the actual the production part of it, and knowing where to look and what to do and how to read a prompter, because I didn't even know how to read a prompter. All this stuff I got very, very comfortable with. What